Hey folks, it's Bobo the Vulture. And guess what? It's time once again for Let's Watch Bobo play SimCity 2000. Bobo managed to once again completely mess up all of the audio settings because... well, I don't know that completely messed them up, but either way, they got messed up. Major issue that we're having here. Let's raise taxes and increase total funds. Blah, 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 blah. She has no advice at this time. But, since right now, basically I'm just trying to let some time pass and get a little bit of money, I'll go ahead and decide I'm going to raise the sales tax and the income tax. So if you look over here, where I was just pointing my, where I was just pointing the cursor there, the RCI index. Thanks, past Bobo. You'll see that demand for residential, commercial, and industrial is already really high. Clicking on the sales tax and the property tax will lower demand for those things, but who the hell cares? Our fire coverage is excellent, although I'm not actually convinced of that. All expensive free clinics, well, just give me the money, alright? Thank you. Alright. And everything else is going well, actually. Yeah, that guy said our fire coverage is excellent. I'm not entirely convinced, and I'll tell you why. In addition, because of the litany of failures I've been having here, actually, in addition to the sound issues, I actually had to abort a recording session of this when I had an earthquake strike, and the gameplay was already set to cheetah speed. And I tried to use a hotkey, like Control 1, to slow it back down to turtle speed, but for whatever reason, it wasn't actually accepting that as an option. It was only letting me use, the actual, speed, menu option in the top left there. So I'm going to go ahead and build another firehouse, and, once we actually do end up having a disaster that you'll get to see, you'll see that it's very important to have multiple firehouses, because when you dispatch firefighters, the number of firehouses that you have determines the number of little firefighter icons you get to drop onto the map. Actually, unfortunately, one of the times that the earthquake hit, the first thing that it blew up was one of my fire stations, which meant at that particular playthrough I only had one fire station left for this entire city, and it wasn't enough, especially considering the map was moving so quickly, time was moving so quickly. Fire had spread all over everywhere, all over Hell and Gone. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. Anyhow, yeah, I'm going to set it to cheetah speed. That's right, I try to set it to African swallow speed. That's the speed where things go so fast you don't actually have time to react to things if they happen. So yeah, I figured, I went ahead and connected the fire station up here, set up a fire station, so I might as well draw a little block around it and get some other development put up here, because, provided I do it slowly enough that it's not actually costing me money, instead I'm getting the tax dollars back as they come in. Yeah, put a little residential in there, and look, it's people, they're showing up. Thank you, people. I also go in here and check the tax rates. I believe I decide, yeah, textiles needs to go up. Textiles is a polluting industry. Looting and polluting is not the way. That's what Captain Planet has to say. Power is mine. I can't always, tell. Power's mine, but it totally is. You guys are just gonna have to learn. Power is Bobo's. It's not that the power is yours, the power is mine. Mine specifically. Bobo the Vulture has the power. You thought He-Man had the power. Well, we showed you in that Dynasty Warriors 7 video, in which Sun Quan killed He-Man. Go over to Mysterious JG's channel and start watching the Dynasty Warriors 7 Muso modes if that doesn't make any sense to you. Actually, go ahead and start watching them even if it does make sense. Hey, look, our bus system has a bunch of passengers on it. So, 115 crimes reported and 32 arrests. I'm not an expert on criminal justice, but that seems like not that many arrests for the number of crimes. Maybe there were a lot of crimes being committed just by like one person, one or two people. I don't know what to tell you. I do have this nice little overlook over here. I was just looking at that, thinking that little area along the shoreline, you could put something nice there, a little hotel, some dealie or another. That'd be cool. I'm not going to do that just yet. But it would be, and as you can see there, it would be right on the ragged cliffs at the edge of the I guess, sea in this universe, because this is a map in which we only have cities on 3 sides. It's a coastal map. And here I am looking, probably going to use that area right there. I was sort of planning out where I needed to put my harbor, because eventually I'm going to want a harbor. Or eventually my industry is going to demand a harbor. You know how demanding industry can be. And there's a condo. Condo breaker. No, let's not break any of my condos. That's right, I was looking at this because it was saying they didn't have power. I was like, oh crap. I come back here to the power station, and I discover that yes, it is producing. It's not at its full capacity, so I'm like, oh, never mind. I kind of thought there was a way to cheat around that, like, once something was connected to electricity, that all of the electricity in the entire map was connectified, that you didn't actually need to connect in any of the future power plants, but seems maybe I was mistaken. So I go ahead and put in a power line there. It's important where you can to avoid trying to use long strands of power lines like I just did, because each of those individual tiles of power line count as a powered tile, so it counts against the let's raise taxes. It counts against the let's raise taxes. It counts against your overall power plant production. In theory, you could have an entire power plant devoted to just keeping electricity going through all of your power lines. It would be unfortunate. But yeah, gotta go ahead and build out another block here. Because, you know, why the heck not? I'm doing things nice and gentle. I noticed there's a hurricane warning there. Rock you like a hurricane. And I might as well connect up the 2 different old and new sections of the city there with that last little city block. Even though the, roads official might come by later on and say, you have too many roads. You should eliminate some and save on maintenance. Then I'll say I could save on maintenance by cutting back the budget a little bit. And then I'll say, you can't cut back our funding. The rivers will flow red with blood. Because that's what he does, my transportation official. He offers portents of death if... and then I decided to go ahead and build out the end of this block so I can put in some industry there. I'm kind of hoping with the slight changes in the tax rates I've made to industries that, in this game at least, are higher polluting industries, that hopefully that will mean that all the new industrial tiles that get put up will not be from those businesses, well, not from those industries, and so they won't, produce as much pollution, so I can put them in the middle of the city. Because honestly, that is something that will... Actually, I'm not sure how much it actually affects the actual traffic in this game, but in theory that's something that should affect traffic, that people live too far away from where they work. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. But since I've gone ahead and drawn up another block, I might as well start putting some things in. I'm going to go ahead and build a commercial tower there, because that would be like primo real estate. Because, I mean, I tell you, there are businesses out there that will pay a pretty penny to have really highly visible, like even just their office to be in a highly visible place in a high-rise, like right by, the picturesque waterfront of a town or something like that. I'll just say, without going into too many specifics, I once worked for an employer that was looking to expand into the Baltimore area, and they went ahead and bought office real estate in a very, very nice area in Baltimore Harbor. And they signed a 10-year lease, and then they ended up moving out of the building after just like a couple years. So, oops. But I mean, it's part of a, like, you want to have the prestige, and you want to be able to say, oh yes, we're a part of the community. We're that office. You know that office down by the, place where stuff happens? Yeah, that's where we are. But, yeah. That's the sort of thing that goes on. Sorry, folks, I'm still in addition to, because at this point it's gotten a little ridiculous. You'll probably have noticed by now. So, I mean, I really wanted to do this Let's Play of SimCity 2000, especially, I think part of the thing is I went into this Let's Play thinking that it would be technically easy to do. Just, it would be something that wouldn't be that taxing on my computer, and not that taxing on the recording software, but I guess recording full screen seems to have really confused the crud out of Cam Studio. So, I have those issues. And then on top of that, we need more adequately funded grade schools. And on top of that, we need more adequately funded grade schools. No, but I went ahead and tried to do all this stuff. Oh, no, the health and welfare lady, she's asking for more money too. There we go. Hospital services are back to being trim, efficient, and responsive. So good. Also, crime at an all-time low. That guy has no advice for us. He is lame. Lame Zors. But, well, I suppose, honestly, on the bright side, you could say that, the roads guy has no advice. Because generally speaking, he'll try and tell you stuff like, oh, you have too many roads, get rid of some of your roads. I'm like, no, I'm going to need those roads. I'm putting them down now so that I'll have them for, so future peoples can come by and they'll enjoy it, and I won't be a laughingstock of future peoples. But yeah, just sort of gazing around the land here, folks. I suppose I probably should have mentioned it earlier, but nothing really exciting happens in this particular video. Sorry to say, but no earth-shaking developments take place. I pretty much just sort of slowly build little corners and bits and pieces. I might put in the description that nothing actually happens, so in case you really don't like listening to me just sort of talk over the city being built in post, that you have the option of going away. Turning back and fleeing in terror as we speak. But yeah. Yeah, this was one of those issues. That's something that I've noticed with the game here in general is, yeah, and right there with that block I just built, and like it went from being a construction site immediately to being an abandoned building. I'm like, what? What are you guys even doing? You're just building buildings to abandon them straight away? That doesn't seem right. Anyways, we seem to have still a relatively high demand for commercial, so I put another block of commercial in there. That ought to, yeah, see, they're building stuff right there. It's like a little garden. Look at it all going up. It's going up. It's like Puzz 3D. So yeah, we have all these things happening. Ooh. Sorry there. But, yeah, no, those are the things that are going on with this map right now. I'm not really sure why it seemed to be paused at the moment. I must have been giving a really long and important speech there. Oh, it's the first light by, Captain J. Shirtsha. Captain J. I call him Captain J. I get along that well. Ooh, orbital power arrives. Sweet. And So has Dr. Zimmerman, the brain behind the invention. Dr. Zimmerman, who has been making ends meet for the last 8 years by painting houses with the help of the children from his wife's daycare business, was smoothly relieved that orbital power was smoothly took off. My reputation as a painter was chipping away faster than a pony with a strained ego, the witty man observed. I'm not sure how witty that is. Even without promotion, orbital power is likely to become as part of standard living within the next 152 years, experts think. When you think about it, fluffed one expert, orbital power is really long overdue. So that expert is a fluffer. Oh, there you go, folks. Orbital power. There it is. Taxes suck! Boo, Texas! Oh yeah, and I notice here that since I changed the paper, that this is actually an opinion column and not the just poll from people. I believe shamelessly in the single-rate income tax. Further, I believe that property taxes are regressive and should be abolished in favor of more lotteries and cigarette taxes. Why should the decent, hard-working property owner shoulder the burden of community expenses? But Bobo spending is out of control. There's no desire for the exorbitant tax rates imposed on the citizens. With tighter community management, taxes will possibly be half as much. Why not just cut the salaries of council members? Healthcare in Boboburg is dismal. I thank the mighty stars above. I'm in fairly good shape. You just can't count on a municipality's healthcare services to be there when you demand them. You know, I'm a fairly decent social biochemist, but at times like this, I really wonder if I should hole away in some remote wilderness area so I never have to face another lawyer or another problem again. I guess the second half below the gap there is about whatever the secondary big concern amongst the people, amongst the not future people but present peoples is. But yeah, so that's his thing. Also, he believes the property taxes are regressive and that you should abolish them in favor of more lotteries and cigarette taxes. Also, kinky unemployment. Although if the unemployment is really that kinky, if you're kinky enough, you don't ever have to truly be unemployed, you know. I'm just saying. Anyhow, let's get back to the world as a whole here. After I take a drink of delicious water. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at the microwave power. We're not going to get a microwave power thing for a while, but microwave receiver, launch a satellite dish to collect solar power, then beam it back down to Earth. Microwave power is very efficient, clean, and reliable. Unfortunately, the effects of a mistargeted beam are as yet unknown. Well, I can tell you what those effects are, folks. Not because I went ahead and installed one and it, you know, mistargeted and then I lost the video, because I haven't done that. But, yeah, it's, you know, it's like the nuclear meltdown things, except, the plant explodes and then a little beam, a little trail of flame, fire icons shows up in one direction from the microwave plant. Still, better than the nuclear meltdown, where you'll have like one little, like you'll have a whole bunch of like little individual tiles on the map that have little old-fashioned atom icons on them. That means the ground is irradiated and you don't get to build on it. For practical purposes, forever. I've been, you know, there's some people that will say that I think in like thousands of years of game time that the tile might be available again after all. But, you know, effectively speaking, it's going to be never. So yeah, look at our little town. It's all around this lake. Actually, it looks like it would be a pleasant little village. Not the best library, but who cares? What, are you going to tell me you go to the library now? I don't believe you. Oh wow, look at all those cars. Then they immediately vanish as soon as I'm like, I gotta get over here and click and see what's going on with all these cars. It looked like there were a lot of tiny little blue specks sort of sliding back and forth, which is of course how this game represents traffic. But let's go ahead and build another. Well, no, I was thinking about it. Yeah, I'll go ahead. I think to the opposite side of that road there, just above, I'm thinking I may need to, like if I get a bulldozer over there, just nick off a little corner of the side of that mountain. I'm always on the lookout, especially on a really hilly map like this, for places where I will be able to build a 4x4 building, like a college or a stadium or zoo or something like that. Just any time that, the residents might just randomly demand something. And I could build one down here where all this stuff is, but right now I'm just building blocks of houses, because that's what people want. Yay, houses! And if you can build houses and blocks, you can build your regular residential, commercial, or industrial in blocks of 3x3. You get the cool, like, complete 3x3 buildings, like that warehouse right there. It's all good stuff, man. Also, what the... Yeah, for a minute there, that one house didn't appear, and it just appeared that those two just generated out of nothing. Which isn't true. I know it isn't true. I don't believe it. It must be true. But yeah, we're getting more and more homes going in. And then a house that just got abandoned right after it got built. Citizens of Bobo, sometimes I just don't understand you. You're like parents. Or I'm like parents, and I just don't understand. That must be what's going on. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, Boboburg is continuing to slowly grow. And it's going to continue to slowly grow for some time to come, hopefully. Hopefully nothing terrible like a water shortage will happen anytime in the near future. No. That would be bad. Nobody wants that. Nobody can beat me. I'm Duran. But, yeah, oh no, a water shortage has been reported. Well, I know what we can do about that. Put a water pump right there. Go ahead and put water pumps over here. All those little tiles that are right next to the water that I had all saved up for just this sort of occurrence. Did I have another place I wanted to put some water pumps? I believe it was over by the college, but I was rotating the map the wrong way to see that. Yes, over by the college. There we go. Pump. Pump. Pump it. Flex, dude. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in a small park. Yay! Yay, we have a park, everybody. Over by the college. Everybody will love it. It will be wonderful. I wonder, is that the only park we have in the... Yeah, you can't tell from the small parks. If you drop down a large park, it will tell you the overall acreage of parks land in your city. But from a little park tile, it doesn't bother to tell you. So, boo. But anyhow, folks, that's probably enough for now. This is Bobo the Vulture. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Well, yes, I was thinking at the time I need to cut it off because I've been having so many problems with recording these. Huh, what do you know? Anyhow, I thank you very much for watching, folks, and I'll see you next time.